Welcome back, my jiu-jitsu fanatics. Today we have Josh on the channel and he's rolling against me, your favorite black belt, Tyler, the creator of this YouTube channel. Let's see how this roll goes. Josh has a lower belt, so I'm fine to let him start standing against me, but he makes a fatal flaw by attacking a footlock on me. I immediately feel disrespected anytime somebody goes for a footlock, so I stand up, pull his ankle, and get my own takedown so he has to work off his back instead. Now that was a buttery smooth takedown, so let's see how I did it. I maintained nice wrist control against Josh, and I also controlled his ankle so I could easily stand up and start pulling him out, and I used his own wrist to spin him down. Now immediately as we land, I have a high head position and Josh is looking for a KIMURA. I have no idea why he thinks he could be able to pull out such a strongman move against me when I'm massive compared to him, but I appreciate his ambition. Now what we're going to see here is one of my trademark passes. I like to put my hips perpendicular to my opponent, which is not really the best move in case you're scared that they're going to take your back, but I have a lot of confidence in my guillotine, so if anybody starts to work up, I immediately monitor the head or arm so I can choke them if I need to. Josh is afraid of this and his guard's open, so I immediately attack with the guillotine just so I can pass the guard. It's important to do a lat drop on them so they aren't able to push you off of them. As Josh looks to shrimp, I just push the legs down and get side control until I can establish more of a position. However, Josh keeps hitting some more shrimps and I'm not going to punish him for going for the right technique just because I'm better, so I give him some space so he can start working again. I will, however, punish anyone anytime their head is too high and I can get a free guillotine grip on him. So I use this guillotine grip to go right into mount, and then he starts to buck me a lot harder than I thought he would and he puts me in guard. However, when he's putting me in guard, he's not very cognizant of my legs coming up around his head, so I switch it to a quick triangle. If you have difficulties finishing the triangle, you have to make sure that you always cut a nice angle. Right here, I'm pretty square with Josh, but I immediately recognize I have to get further under him, so I start to turn it, and now this is becoming a tight choke. However, he has such a straight arm, I realize why would I fight the triangle when I can just get a free armbar. As we start the next part of this roll, my question of the day is, what is the hardest technique for you to finish and why? Make sure to comment them below and I'll make sure to try and help you out by typing a detailed response so you can try and get better at them. Next part of this roll is slowed down because I'm going to show you an example of what a terrible guillotine looks like. Josh doesn't have any good positioning but he immediately grabs for my head. I use this moment to go under his armpit and capture his wrist so I can just backstep and pass his guard. Anytime somebody has a bad guillotine and they just reach for it from anywhere, you should look to go under the armpit so you can control their posture. We see a beautiful hand trap by me here as I capture his arm with my leg, forcing his hand to go to his stomach. Since his hands are by his stomach, however, I know his neck is free and he doesn't have anything to defend his neck. From here, I go for a guillotine and I immediately go into mount until I can finish the guillotine choke, putting him in a full world of misery. A little bit of background info for the shooting of this video. My partner is using a gimbal instead of their hands, so there's absolutely no shaking going on. We do move out of frame a few times because they're still figuring out how to use the gimbal, but the video production should be better in the future, so make sure to subscribe to the channel to watch more content like this. Josh gets on top and immediately starts looking to attack me. I use this timing to go for his leg just for a sweep and he starts to hit a footlock on me. However, since my butt is low enough to the mat, I'm really not in any danger of getting footlocked, and again, my hips are perpendicular until we can start standing. My advice for everyone, especially if you're standing and it's a no-gi, you have to hand fight because they have nothing to hold you down. I grab Josh's wrist here with a 2-on-1 and I immediately use this to pass his guard like butter. Once I'm past the guard, I immediately start grabbing his head. It's hard to fight somebody that's always attacking your head because you feel like you should be shrimping into them, but if you shrimp in, you're just giving them your neck to grab. Make sure to always fight the hands so they don't grab your neck, otherwise they're going to abuse your posture the entire roll. I use this side control again to pass into mount, but my mount is a little bit looser for Josh so he can get some action moving. He is doing the right thing, trying to push my hips and roll me, trying to look for anything, but I'm not feeling too merciful right now, and I immediately start setting up my own mounted triangle. I already make a nice angle cut on this here, and when we come back in frame, I can tap him without having to go all the way to my guard. Now Josh is feeling like he's been manhandled this whole roll, and let's be honest, he really has, but there's no shame in losing to a black belt even if you were another black belt. As long as you're trying to get better at jiu-jitsu, that's the main focus. I was willing to start on bottom with Josh, but he didn't engage, so I got on top and I started to work my wrestling. However, as soon as I give Josh any little bit of space, I noticed here that he tried to egg me on with this little hand motion. I'm not going to say no to a free hand grip, so I grab a 2-on-1, but I do know I have to go a little bit harder with him because I can't let him disrespect me like that. As soon as he gets too close, I immediately switch my hips in the air and pass his guard like it doesn't exist. It's a typical white belt guard, and I made it look so simple to pass. Now from this reverse side control position, I just put my knee across his belly so I could get another free mount on him. Now I am applying a little bit more pressure on Mount, and I'm not even looking to submit him so much, I'm just looking to control him. I have to remind him who's the boss here, all because of that little motion, but to be honest, I really don't take too much disrespect for it. I'm just making some nice commentary. There's nothing worse than having a 300-pound beast on top of you, except for when it's a 150-pound beast on top of you with the same pressure. I stay on top of Josh like it's nothing, and I switch to S mount just to create some extra pressure for his chest. I can tell he's very uncomfortable here, but I want to see him get moving. Josh is on bottom and he's trying to walk his shoulders on the mat so he can try and create some distance. You can tell by the expression on my face that I'm really not too affected by this. I let him do what he wants, and I'm just maintaining this mount position until he rolls to his side. Then I put my knee across his belly and I start applying more pressure. I remember that little hand motion. I do a culturally insensitive move by putting my knee on his neck. However, I'm not going to maintain this position for the video, and the round also ends. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.